So I'm going to talk to you about the universal laws. Basically, those laws is the way that God operates in the universe to have order. Obviously, right? Believe it or not, regardless how the world is right now, there has to have some universal laws in order for us to have order in the world, in the universe. Okay. So whether we believe in these laws or not, they govern our lives. So there's an expression that says everyone who is struggling with his life is living in this harmony with these laws. So if you really want for your life to, function, to everything to be okay, to live the life you want, to flow, the things to flow to you and not struggle in your life, you have to learn these laws and you have to live in harmony with them. That's extremely important. The first time I heard that, I was like, I couldn't believe it, honestly. But once I studied them and I was increasing my awareness, because awareness is everything, once I was increasing my awareness of everything, I realized that those laws are in everything. But since we don't know them, there's no way for us to become aware. But once you study them and then you become aware, you're like, oh, you know what? That's right. That's why these things are happening, because of this universal law. Okay? So just put attention, learn from this, and I'm sure it will blow your mind.
I live my life by the law.
Amen. All right. Regardless whether you're a skeptic or not, that's fine. But if you're struggling, that's for something. Just be humble enough, listen to this, and you'll realize that this is definitely true. So let's begin. All right. So there are 7 laws, which are, I will say, the main 7 laws, which are related to the creative process of manifestation of anything, good or bad, in our life. From those laws, then there are another ones who are the principal laws are this one, the 7 ones, and then there's another ones that they come from one of these 7. Okay, I'll give you an example. Law of attraction is not a first law; it's a secondary law. The first law is law of vibration. Okay, so that's why it's good to mention that thing. So first law is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Perpetual transmutation of energy, which is permanent transformation of energy. It says energy moves into physical form, and the images you hold in your mind most often materialized in the results in your life. Now, I'll give you an example. If you observe the cycle of water, it's just liquid. With heat, it just becomes steam, and then from steam it goes to the clouds, and then the clouds it condensates, and it's changing into different forms. But this law, what it mentioned, what it declares, what it rules is that nothing gets created or destroyed. It just changes its form. So water that is not created or destroyed. It changes its form. So when it's liquid, like I said, the heat, it would just make it steam, and then it will get to the clouds, and then the clouds it condensates, and then change it to liquid again, and by law of gravity, it just falls back again. And then it continues to do so. So what we see as plastic used to be, petroleum, right? What we see as paper used to be wood. What we see as glass, it used to be sand. So everything in the world, everything in the universe doesn't get destroyed or created. It just changes its form. Now, what is that related to us? Everything, but let's think about the mind. This law says that everything, every energy, thinking, thoughts are energy. And no one can stop thinking, because that power, unalterated power of energy, it's coming to us and going through us. So that energy doesn't get, created or destroyed. It just changes its form. So when a thought is coming to us, it's transmutating or transforming in a perpetual way, in a permanent way, into a different form of energy. So my thoughts become emotions. Emotions become actions. And actions become, this is another law, which is cause and effect. Every action has a reaction. And this is what it takes in the universal law of cause and effect. And then for every action, there's a reaction. So in this law, what it says is every idea that you hold in your mind has to become a form. That's why living in this harmony with these laws might be like not understanding that anything that you hold in your mind will become a physical form. And once we understand that, then we will decide whether we want to hold that thought or not. In other words, do we want that thing to become a reality? No. Then change that thought right away. Stop holding it. Stop entertaining it. Because neuroscience says we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them is negative. So that's why it's imperative to learn how to reject ideas and reiterate the ones that we want. Because if we don't, which was my case in 40 years, if we don't, then those things, by universal law, whether we believe it or not, it has to become into form. In other words, has to manifest itself into reality. Oh, you know what? I'm going to crash. Boom. I'm going to get sick. Boom, I got sick. So are you a wizard or what? No. It's just you hold the thought which transmutated or transformed that into emotion. That emotion get transmutated or transformed into action. Those type of behaviors, actions, habits, and those become a result. Every action has a reaction. That's another one. We'll get there. But every single thought that you hold, what I mean hold is like thinking and that, it has to become a form. And it will not ask you for permission. It will just become a form because you're holding something which will make you feel in that way. You will act in a certain way, and you will get the result. Whether we want it or not, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, that's the way manifestation works. And it has always been present in our life. Once you understand that, you're like, damn, I got to change this. Second law is, the actual sequence of this is not, they don't go into a sequence. It's just how it is mentioned here, but there's no sequence. But
Is there no sequence that you recommend to learn them in?
No.
It makes no difference?
No.
Okay.
So the next one here is law of relativity. Okay. It says nothing is good or bad, big or small, until you relate it to something or compare it to something. Right? So nothing's good, nothing's bad, nothing's big, nothing's small, nothing's cheap, nothing expensive. It's anything until you relate it to something, until you compare it to something. And it says here, practice relating your situation to something much worse and yours will always look good. Okay, so how is that affecting us? How am I related to this? Why would I care? Well, it is well said that we live the life as we perceive it. So if we perceive something as far away, we will never go to that because for us, it's perceived as far away. If we perceive something as expensive, we will never try to get it because we perceive it as expensive. Is we perceive something as, I don't know, impossible, which is pretty common, we will never, ever, ever put a work or intention or action into going to that because at the beginning we consider that impossible. So our perception is controlling our behavior, which is controlling our results. And once we understand that nothing is good, bad, possible, impossible, cheap, expensive, whatever that is, until we, with our perception, perceive it, interpret that thing as whatever that is, then we judge it, then we label it. This is what it is. Once we do so, then our behavior follows, whether I want it or not, whether I look for it or not. So, but once we understand, I actually like this expression. It says it's not that it's expensive, it's that you can't pay it. And that's true. What if I will say something like, you know what? It's out of my reach right now, but I will eventually get it. That changes the whole game of life than just saying, oh, you know what, that's too expensive. It changes everything. It changes your behavior, it changes your vision, it changes everything, right? So be careful to label something, compare something, relate that to something and judge it and label it because you are already determining what the results will be based on your perception. Make sense? In my opinion, human beings, we need hope. As long as we lose hope, we're done. And once you understand this law, you're like, okay, so it's not that it's expensive. It's not that it's impossible. It's not that it's far away. It's just me at this moment, I'm not in the position for that, but I will. That gives me hope. And my behavior based on that is totally different. The thing is, once we label that thing, judge it as, it's not possible, then there's no hope. And then I basically stuck myself into the life that I don't want. All right. Next one is the law of vibration. Okay. This is the primary law. The secondary law is the law of attraction. Okay. So it says everything vibrates, nothing rests. If you understand, there's another law which is kind of related. It says create or disintegrate. What is not growing is dying. There's nothing, actually, there's no such thing as comfort zone. Once we understand it, there's no such thing as comfort zone because in nature, everything, if you observe nature, everything is moving. In nature, if something is not moving, it's dying or has died. So we are part of nature. And once we understand this, there's no such thing as the comfort zone. The comfort zone is just a self-deceiving zone or thing in our life, in our mind, which we think we are comfortable. But if we are very honest, the thoughts we're entertaining in that comfort zone are not of progress, of increase, of growth. They are the opposite. Because the real nature of human beings is growth. That's what it is. The real comfort zone of humans is when you're growing. When you feel plenitude, when you feel great, when you feel fulfillment, that's when you are growing, not when you are in such thing as the comfort zone. When we are in that thing, which is, again, not, for me, it doesn't exist, we are just entertaining thoughts that are, in decadence. So in other words, if I'm not growing, I'm dying.
So comfort zone is death. I mean, that's the way I think of it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So everything is vibrating. Nothing is static. Okay? Once we understand that, then you will everything that we see as solid is actually vibrating, but in a very, very low frequency, which will, is seen for us that is solid, is static, doesn't move, but it's actually moving in an extremely low frequency. Okay? Now, we as human beings, we have the huge privilege of changing the vibration with our thoughts. So vibration and emotion is the same thing. Emotion, feeling, vibration is the same thing. So when we say, you know what, I feel bad, that's that I'm becoming aware of the level of vibration that I have right now that I call bad or sad or whatever the thing is. It's just a word. Feeling is just a word that we came up with to express the level of vibration that we are in. If you look at Google, if you go to Google and you Google emotions vibrations, it will come up with a chart that it will say something. It will actually show that feeling sad has a certain vibration and is measured in hertz. And if you feel like in gratitude and love, it's way higher hertz, which is a higher vibration. So everything is vibrating. So the huge privilege that we have is being able to choose the level of vibration that we want to be in, whether we are aware or not. I wasn't aware for 40 years, but once you become aware, you're like, oh, you know what? I can change it. And how I change it? By entertaining the thoughts that I want to. Remember the previous law I was mentioning, perpetual transmutation of energy? Everything has to move into form. Everything is changing in a perpetual way, in a permanent way, and transforming. So my thoughts that I'm holding are becoming emotions. Those emotions is the level of vibration I'm in. So if I understand that I have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day and 80% of that is negative, then I have to learn how to reject the ones that I don't want and entertain the ones and hold the ones. How do I hold them? Out of suggestion, repetition, right? I understand at the beginning we don't have the ability. Okay, capability, we do have it because we're humans, we have that capability. But ability, it comes with repetition. It comes with something I'm intentionally doing, right? We have the capability to run a marathon. We don't have the ability because we haven't done so, right? So once we have the ability, in other words, once we pay the price of repetition of controlling our thoughts, rejecting ideas, and reiterating the ones that we want, once we pay the price and have learned the ability to do so, then we can control the vibration we're in. But I'll give you an example. The reason why people is poor, and I'm not saying this in a bad intention or anything like that, but the reason why poor people is poor or sick people is sick is because they're holding the thoughts of that. I give you an example. Oh, I need money. What is that feeling? The thought is, I need this. The feeling is lack. The feeling is fear. That feeling is what the universe, because of the feeling is in our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is like a radio station. It's transmitting that. So the feeling is what we are praying, sending that and saying, give me more of that. So that's why I say this. Your vibration is your prayer. Tu vibración es tu oración. Your vibration is your prayer, because vibration, emotion, feeling is the same thing. So the emotion I'm holding, based on the thoughts that I'm holding, the vibration that I'm feeling, the emotion I'm feeling, it's exactly what I'm asking for more. So that's why if we want to change from one state, let's say poor to rich, I have to learn to entertain thoughts that are in harmony with the result that I want, in this case, the life I want to live, and then making sure that the feeling, I feel gratitude and I feel love and I feel abundant. That just takes a whole effort because we're conditioned to feel the opposite. But once we understand that, then we're like, such a privilege that God has given us to choose the vibration we're in. Because now the key for me, the trick in life is be able to choose gratitude and love in adversity. That changes the whole game. So if you're dealing with a very bad issue, very bad problem, and then you decide, you know what, I'm gonna be grateful that this situation is teaching me something. That changes the whole game. Because you're now grateful that you're going through an experience that's gonna make you grow. Instead of just complaining, right? In this drama, like, that's not good. Why am I leaving this? It changes the whole game. Because once I become aware, that's why awareness is everything. Once I become aware that thought that I'm holding is becoming an emotion, and that emotion is my vibration, and my vibration is my prayer, that's exactly what I'm asking, trust me, it will come back. Whether you like it or not, it will come back exactly as you requested it. Now, but I didn't request that thing. I didn't ask for that. Yeah, you did. No, I wanted money. No, that's not. Universe doesn't. So the universal law that is the secondary law of the law of vibration is the law of attraction. And law of attraction says you will attract what you vibrate on, which means the emotion, the dominant state of mind, or the emotion you're holding all day, all days, that's exactly what you are attracting. So you might want to have something, but if you feel in lack, that feeling is exactly what you're asking for. That's why I will say this with respect, but most people don't understand prayer. Because most people are asking prayer for a state of lack. I don't have it. Please, God, give it to me. You should feel that you have it. Believe that you have received, and you will do so. That's what the Bible says. I don't know exactly in English the words, but it says, in Spanish, cree que has recibido y recibirás. Believe that you have received, not that you will receive. You have received, and then you will. So my state of mind has to be in, I have received that thing. And how do I feel when I do so? I feel in gratitude. So if we study Neville, see, the power of awareness, he always says, make sure you are in the feeling of the fulfilled dream. In other words, I feel that my dream is fulfilled. And how is that feeling? Gratitude, emotion. I'm like so happy, so grateful that it's done. Yeah, Memo, but I haven't seen it. How can I be? That's just so dumb. That's what people say. It's so dumb. How can you feel grateful for something you haven't seen? That's why we have to learn to live by faith, not sight. So if you think about it, the iPhone. So Steve Jobs had to see the iPhone in order to believe that he could do it? Come on. That's so stupid. That's how we think. Sometimes we think stupid stuff. Make sense? So we have to play by faith. We have to live by faith first. We have to see it with our imagination, in our mind, and then we will see it with our eyes.
Man, I remember this law. I feel like, because I was talking to the guys about when I broke my wrist. Do you remember that we had some really, really great conversations about that. I feel like that helped me learn a valuable lesson, and that's when my life started to change. And it was this law that helped me.
So it says, same law of vibration. It says, when you are not feeling good, see, become aware That's why awareness is everything. Become aware of what you're thinking, then think something pleasant. That's exactly what you were saying. So, law of vibration is becoming aware that what you're holding, that thought you're holding, and the feeling you're feeling, that emotion you're feeling, that's that's coming from a thought that you're holding. So if you're feeling a certain way, become aware that that feeling is asking the universe for the same thing. I want to change that thing. I don't want that thing. Then change the thought. Start thinking in something pleasant. So for me, the greatest, check it out, the greatest gift that God has given us is the ability to choose what we think. Because regardless of the situation, regardless of what we're thinking, what we're living, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of anything outside of us, we still have the option, the divine option. It's a gift to choose what we want to think on. And that just changes the game. That's so, I mean, once we understand that that's a huge privilege. I don't know what is higher than huge, but that's like, that's, I mean, man, if you, God, have given me, if you have given me the ability to choose regardless, what can I say? Thank you. It's nothing. It's just I still, that's for me, that's freedom, by the way. And most people, they are not free because they don't know themselves. Self-knowledge is freedom. Once you know yourself, you're like, you know what? Come on, I can choose. I can still choose. And we like to blame others. It's your responsibility. Stop blaming. It's your responsibility. You know yourself. Once you know yourself, you can choose. Yeah, but this is so bad. Yeah, but you still can choose. Yeah. So the law is God, and the laws is the way God, basically plays in the universe. Because believe it or not, we need order. Okay. All right. So next one here is the law of polarity. So it says everything has an opposite: hot, cold, up, down, good, bad. Everything has an opposite. So constantly we have to look for the good. We have to look for the good. Now, I believe it's a conscious decision. That's why awareness is everything. It's a conscious decision to intentionally look for good on others, look for good in others, in people, in situations, in circumstances, because regardless of what's going on, there's always an opposite. And that changes the game, because when you're like, this is when you're going through a very bad struggle, a very bad situation, knowing this law changes the game. It's a game changer, because you're like, you know what? Wait, if this is so bad, I know a huge blessing is coming in. That changes the game, man. I'm telling you. But the thing is, it's a choose. That's why, free will. Free will. You have to choose. You can choose whether you stay on the negative side and not learn from it, or you're like, you know what? I'm going to learn from this. There's got to have a learning experience in this. It's teaching me something. Plus, if I start to look for, searching the good in this, the opportunity in this, then I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to find it. And this is going to be huge. So, and this is actually in the same, same scale, on the same level. So as bad as the situation, as good as the opportunity. So Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich says, every adversity has in the same level, see? In the same level, it has its opportunity. So there's always opportunity in crisis, always. And once we understand that actual problems are opportunities to become better, to learn, life doesn't get any easier at all. We just become stronger. And we become stronger by understanding the adversities we're going through, because we start seeing them as opportunities to learn. That changes the whole game. This morning I give classes every day to my students, and this morning I was telling them, where your attention is, energy goes. Where your attention is, that's where your results are. And if my attention is the crisis, 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 adversity, adversity, that's where my results will be. Why? Because there's no way I can have good results if my attention, my thoughts are negative. There's no way I can have positive results by having negative thoughts. No way. It will never happen. So that law, man, changes everything. For me, this law is an awakening. Now, the good thing is, or the interesting part of this is that if this is the first time, not your case, but for people who are seeing this video, if this is your first time hearing this, it's understandable. It's normal that you're like, that's so bad. That's not true, or whatever you want to think on. That's fine. Test it. Test it. Give it a try. Give it a test. But a conscious testing, like try it, prove it. And you will find the proof. You will find it. The thing is, real ignorance is not knowing. Real ignorance is not wanting to know. And by us saying, that's not true, that's so dumb, we're just closing the door to opportunity to learn something that will change their lives. That's why we just got to stay humble. Right? All right. So next one is the law of rhythm. Oh, I love that one. Law of rhythm. The law of rhythm says the tides goes out, nights follows the day. Okay? Good times, bad times. When you are in a downswing, do not feel bad. Know the swing will change and things will get better. Right? Like the Bible says, this also should pass. Okay? So there are good times coming. Think of them. I love this law because once you start, seeing in nature, is true. As we have winter, then we have another season coming in, right? The spring. And as we have spring, then we have summer, and then we have fall. So if you watch the trees, just because they don't have leaves doesn't mean they're not like really healthy, living life. It's just they will come, but they have to renovate. So everything that is happening to us is bringing an opportunity, and everything should pass. So if we are going through a very good situation, save money, invest, live, be grateful, because trust me, it's not going to last forever. And I'm not saying that we should always think that a bad thing is coming. No. But I give an example. In every business, there's no such thing as growing. We grow, but it's always, fluctuating. Make sense?
Of course.
And also, another example is, we as human beings, there's no such human, regardless of where he is and how much money he has or whatever the thing is, we as human beings will always have this roller coaster of emotions. There will be days that we feel like so freaking amazing, and there will be days that we will just feel like nothing, right? So we're always fluctuating, ups and downs, ups and downs. So if that is the case, then we need to understand that there will be days that I don't feel good, but tomorrow I'll feel great. Just keep going, show up, get up, dress up, show up. And whether like this, right? That we do exercise, there are days that you feel like really bad, not into it, right? And sometimes we don't do not even 30% of what we really do as far as exercise or weight or whatever. So understanding this law it gives you peace of mind, man. It gives you peace of mind. So right now I have this injury. I went just yesterday to physical therapy, and in my mind, if I didn't have this understanding, I will be so desperate, frustrated, like, I gotta go back and I gotta be in beast mode and whatever that thing is. But every single thing is teaching you something. It should pass, right? And I think at the end of the day, for me, the greatest wealth is peace of mind. And this loss, especially this one, helps you get the peace of mind that you need because you understand that it will pass. Okay? That's like I said, man, that's an awakening for me. Okay?
This is in therapy they call it nothing is permanent, right? That's what my therapist told me. Because like
Correct.
even the good or bad, so it helps you to be grateful when things are good, because it's not always perfect. And when things are bad, it's like this will be gonna pass, and I'll be fine tomorrow.
Correct. But the reason why is that is because of universal laws. Personal development book is the Bible. And it's that thing is in the Bible. All those laws are in the Bible. And all the sacred books, obviously, right? For the other cultures. All right, so next one is the law of cause and effect. This is the law of loss. Okay? This is the one that is basically controls everything. And it says, whatever you send into the universe comes back. Action, reaction are equal and opposite. Say good things to everyone, treat everyone with total respect, and it will all come back to you. Never worry about what you are going to get. Just concentrate on what you can give. I mean, this is so deep, but we can spend a lot of time on this. But basically, is some people call it karma, which is the same thing, cause and effect. But it's interesting. But you can use or you can understand this law in every aspect of our life, right? I'll give you an example in health, right? Whatever we give to the body is what the body gives to us. In relationships, if we want love, if we want to receive love, we have to give love first. If we want attention, we have to give attention first. So it's all about giving and receiving, sowing and reaping, cause and effect, action, reaction. But the thing is, most people they live in this harmony with this because they first want to receive and then give. I give you an example in businesses. Most businesses, they don't want to give first. They want to receive the order first and then I give you something. For me, understanding this changed everything in my business and my life. Because this law allow me to understand that I should not be worried about closing or not closing a sale. I give you an example. What if you knew and have the total conviction of this and certainty that every single sales call, every single presentation that you do, you are planting the seed in that mind, whether that guy leaves and never sees you. What if you knew that universe has to pay you for what you've done? Changes the whole freaking game. That has changed my business and my life in a humongous way. Because I'm never worried about a sale. I worry about giving my best, leaving him with impression of increase, leaving him or her with the best that I have. Living way better than how he came to me and how I met him. So in that presentation or that, not just sales presentation, but also anything, just maybe a casual meeting or whatever that is, give your best. Because if you know that this law rules everything, that good has to come back to you. And this is the thing. Most people will say, oh yeah, that's what you say. That's a freaking law. It works with everyone. Everyone is everyone. Even dust and leaves, they They fly by by the law of cause and effect. So everything is ruled by cause and effect. Once we get it, we're like, you know what? I will just concentrate in sowing and giving and my actions. And most people, think about it, most people are complaining about what people say, complaining about everything because they want the effect and they don't get it. It's your causes. Every single time we are creating the cause. The way we think, the way we feel, the way we treat people, the way we react, the way we do things. Every single moment, we are creating the causes. And once we understand this law, we will stop complaining. Why? Because the result you're getting is a freaking effect of what your causes are.
I love this. I think, Memo, I solve a problem where I think a lot about what I want. What am I going to get? Right? Like, man, I fucking do so much. There's a lot of people in my life that do a lot. Like, I still want to be more grateful to my wife, to my parents. Like, because I feel like I take that for granted. So I just think what I keep writing in the journal is stop fucking worrying about you're going to receive. Just figure out how you can give more. Just give. Put 100% of your effort into giving. And that's it. So I think this is powerful, and I need to really, really work on it.
Amen. So once we understand this, I give you an example. Let's say you are an employee, nothing against to it, but if you're an employee, if you want more salary, most people say, oh, that's not my business. That's not my part of my job. I would just, I'm 9 to 5. That's it. Well, you're not giving more. You're not giving more, you won't receive more. And we want to receive more and then gives. So, like I said, seriously, this I think most people live in this harmony with this law, but they don't get it. I'll give you another example. There was a lady that works in life insurances, and then she's like, you know what? I'm having the worst year of my life, and I said, okay, do you know information that it will be helpful for someone? Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Question: are you giving that information for free? You should see in her face. She's like, what? No. That's why you don't get business. Because we want to receive first instead of giving. Once we understand, and this changes the whole game, in my opinion, but once we understand that who pages the universe or God instead of the person, then whether that person you give him something for free per se and didn't pay you anything, the universe has to pay you. How we I think we all have customers that they come to us so easily that we didn't put any effort at all to close that sale. That's the payback of the universe or the things you have given.
That's nice. I like that. I don't get paid by people or like by myself. I get paid by the universe and God. It makes sense. It makes more sense now, for sure. Like just with that concept that I am compensated in a lot of different ways too. I think I've been so fixated on I get paid with money, but like that's not even the fucking best payment. Like I get paid
Ooh,
by
yeah,
like my
that's another
relationship.
topic, man. That's another hour of talking. But yeah, correct. Because once there's a book that it's called The Hidden Power. I mean, I have it in Spanish, but it's called The Hidden Power of Thomas Troward. And there's a chapter is called The Spirit of Opulence. And once you understand that, once you feel opulent in abundance, you will know that money is just one way of that thing. But that's another topic of the class. But honestly, I like understanding. I love understanding that the way I will get paid back is not just money. Thinking just in money is so poor. What if I have so many blessings from people? What if I have so many people praying for me? What if I will have so many people just hugging me, showing me love in every single place that I go to? Some people might say, because they are so empty hearted, some people might say, that's stupid. Money will never, ever give you happiness. So we have to start thinking on the real things that will make you happy. All right, and the last one is the law of gender or gestation, right? Every seed has a gestation or incubation period. Ideas are spiritual seeds and will move into form and physical results for sure. Your goals will manifest when the time is right. No, they will. Now, I think the problem nowadays with society is that they want everything in a rush. This microwave, thinking or feeling, or they want everything right away. And I think it's not understanding that everything has a gestation. The great things, the greatest things, they take time. They take effort. They're not easy, but those are the greatest foundation for a happy life. Once we do get that thing, then we are not feeling in a rush trying to get those things. Now, blend them all together. Blend all the understanding of all the laws together. That changes the whole game. I give you an example. Law of cause and effect. I will start giving, planting the seeds. Boom, boom. When it will come, when it has to come. Where it will come from, where it has to come from. Where the money will come from, where it has to come from. Through who? Through who it has to come from. When it has to come from. What amount? What that amount has to be. Once I get it, once I get it, that changes the whole game.
I feel like it's less to think about, for sure, and less trying to control it. Because I feel like all entrepreneurs and high producing people try to control everything. Myself, this is my biggest problem. And I just need to stop. I need to stop caring. Like, not that I don't care, but that's not important, right? What's important is that I do my part and follow. I mean, I really genuinely believe in these. The first time you told me them, I felt like they were impactful. And now you're telling me them again. And even though I know them, it's still powerful. It's like I'm relearning again. And the law of gestation just reminds me of how long is it going to take, right? Like, it really, really isn't.
Now that you're right, but let's think about this. What does really makes you happy? The actual process of living in, or the actual thing that when it comes to you? Is the actual process of living in.
Yeah.
So we because we have been programmed for some reason that once that thing comes, that's when we are happy. We are so ignorant. And also, I give you another example. Let's say you won $1 million a day, right? Because that's what most people want, money. That's fine. Let's say you
What?
won $1 million a day. If you are going through the process, paying the price, living the life, enjoying the process, that might be 10,000 a day first, maybe 1,000, maybe 10,000, maybe 100,000. That's fine. It will come. But once that million a day comes, it will not make you any happier.
And the more I think about money, the more I realize, like, I have like a limit to what I need. Because I don't, I feel like it would, if anything, make me more sad. Like, right now, you can't just give a person a ton of money because there's no real need for it. At least I feel, and it's gonna come. It's just, I guess that's not my concern. And it's through this, right? Remember when we first got together, man? That's all I could think about.
Yeah. Now the thing is, another thing. This is another lesson, but another thing that I've learned is that once you have a true purpose of that money, then it will come. That changes the whole game. I give you an example. Once you do understand that that money will serve others, and you will do that thing, and then you have a plan, and then you have a vision, and that's how you will do it. That's when it will come. It will not come until you have a purpose for that thing. Because for some reason we think it's just a matter of saving, and whoever wants to save that much money, so just in case, is fear the actual root cause of that feeling. Fear. And whoever fears that doesn't know that universe is on your service. It's just a matter of once you learn how to manifest money, it will come. It's not about that. It's about feeling abundant and knowing that that thing will come as as well as some other great things.